Well, I mean, they're not. I'm saying
heated battle.
They're not good for both guys. It's way
Lamar
below
being
there.
total 200 total
Lamar's
yards.
got him slightly.
Yeah. Brew, who's under more pressure in this game, Lamar or Josh?
It's Lamar. It's Lamar. I said last week that Josh, if he gets past Denver, in my view, he's playing with house money. I don't think Nick agrees with that, but he's not even favored in his own building.
True.
I've talked about it. 9 Pro Bowlers on the other side, Baltimore, 2 in Buffalo, including, of course, Josh Allen. So, look, most people didn't think they were a contender. Some smart people didn't even think they'd make the playoffs.
Smart people?
Well, they don't look smart now, but I mean, they were viewed as taking a step back because they gave up a lot of stars. Not just Steph Diggs. I mean, he obviously is gone. But they lost a lot of guys on the defense. Yeah, so I think Josh is playing with house money. And that's really been the narrative that might get him the MVP award is that he's doing it all by himself, so to speak. Lamar, on the other hand, 2-time MVP, the only 2-time MVP or multiple-time MVP not to win a Super Bowl or an NFL championship before the Super Bowl, Jim Brown, Johnny Unitas. It's looking now like he's going to become a 3-time MVP, and he will be the first 3-time MVP or more MVPs to win the 3rd MVP before winning the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't win it this year, the better he plays in the regular season, the more people are going to really critique his playoff lack of success.
That's what happened to Harden.
Yeah,
and
Harden, it's fair.
It all of a sudden became with Harden that averaging 35 a game was almost a negative. Yep. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it was
because you don't do it in a bigger if
Judge next year hits 60 home runs.
Right.
Again,
we're going to talk about what he didn't do against the Dodgers.
Exactly.
If Lamar goes out this weekend and plays poorly,
that would be a disaster.
I think if he plays well
and they lose
a shootout, that's fine. It'll still be the pressure for him to win a Super Bowl at some point. But if he plays poorly and then next year, say had a same type of year as this year, it's going to be a lot of naysayers about, he was great, but what's he going to do in the playoffs?
So here's the thing, and everything Bruce said is true. But if Josh loses, folks are going to go with a much finer tooth comb over his playoff resume.
Wow. So you think it's Josh?
I actually think we're in a weird spot. Man, the media is going to come for somebody. Let's just say the favorites, every other game's a touchdown favorite or bigger. Let's just say all the favorites win. Chiefs win. Nobody's killing the Texans. There's nobody killing the Texans for that.
That's right.
Lions win. People are like, Jaden, maybe not that good. No, definitely not going to happen. The Eagles win. People are like, Stafford McVay, not that good. No, they're all on the road, huge dogs. So now if one of the big favorites loses, like people will come for Goff's tiny hands or whatever it is. I'm not sure. But this game, the loser of this game, unless it is a 2021 Chiefs-Bills type of game where it's just both guys play A-plus games, is going to get cooked. And Brew laid out the story against Lamar, what it would be. Right. The story against Josh would be, you're an amazing wild card round quarterback, but you've now in the last 5 years in the AFC Championship game once and 4 times in the divisional round, 3 times at home, have played a peer in the playoffs. Patrick 3 times, Joe Burrow once, Lamar once, and you're 0 for 5.
Yeah, I buy that.
And one of the reasons I have such an allergy over people, and it doesn't happen on this show, but I see it all the time, about people trying to put anyone in Mahomes' even general vicinity, is Mahomes, every quarterback, active quarterback that matters, that Mahomes has had an opportunity to, he's beaten. He's ended every quarterback that matters in the AFC, he's ended their season at some point in his career, from the big 3 of Lamar, Josh, Joe, to the next group down of Tua, Trevor.
Okay, guys, we got to stop with this. we just love keep going in circles and circles and circles and circles. And I've already highlighted. I already highlighted how in that infamous game where Josh Allen, where Patrick Mahomes outdueled Josh Allen, he didn't. Josh Allen outplayed him by a large mark. So the Kansas City Chiefs are beating those other teams. They are beating those other teams without a shadow of a doubt. But to act like Mahomes is beating Josh Allen or something, that's where we have to stop with the nonsense. So he's saying that he gets upset about that. I get upset when other people try to put these quarterbacks in the room. Just stop. Stop the madness already. Seriously. It's just so insane. Okay, here's the infamous 13-second game. We love to use stats. Nick loves to use his stats. Josh Allen was better, a 92.2 rating. Patrick Mahomes, 85.5. Their passing PFF rating, 88.6 for Josh Allen, 79.7. Run, also 84.4, 78.6 for Mahomes. Josh Allen was better in that game. Patrick Mahomes had the better team and the better coach. It's that simple. It's that simple. So stop putting this all on Josh Allen. It's nonsense. Last year, was it Josh Allen's fault that his wide receivers literally just dropped the balls that hit them in the hands? Is it? Because it's not. Is it Josh Allen's fault that the Chiefs had Chris Jones and were able to actually get to Josh Allen, whereas the Bills had no one that could get to Patrick Mahomes? The fact that last year Josh Allen had more completions than Patrick Mahomes had passing attempts, a stat that I've said so many times, because it's the reality. The fact that the Buffalo Bills consistently asked Josh Allen to do more for his team than the Kansas City Chiefs asked Patrick Mahomes. 7 out of the last 11 playoff games, Josh Allen has had to be the leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills. For Patrick Mahomes, it's 2. So we can stop. I mean, heck, we know these guys love and live and die by their passer rating. Even in that game, Josh Allen, 136. Patrick Mahomes, 123. And that's with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Literally all-time greats. True all-time greats. Hall of Famers. Legendary players. With a legendary coach. So we have to stop. This narrative just gets so tiring. And like I showed in my previous video that I posted today, Josh Allen has the most passing touchdowns per intercepted pass in the playoffs when playing 10-plus games. He's got more than Patrick Mahomes. He also has more total yards per game. I made a whole video talking about that because Nick cooked the books. It's actually more than I even thought. I shorted him by a yard. I don't have it right now by me. Yes, I do. Josh Allen's total yards per game are 327.7 total yards per game. And like I already highlighted many, many times, but you know what? I'll do it again. Here's that same year, 2021. Let's just keep using that as a reference point. Yards after catch. 625 for Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, 225. I mean, this is real stuff here. This is real stuff. Patrick Mahomes plays with better teams, with better coaches that scheme guys open, that actually have them get yards after catching. Patrick Mahomes' job is easier. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. So stop. Patrick Mahomes is throwing shorter passes. His intended air yards per pass attempt is 5.7. Josh Allen's is 8.5. He's throwing shorter passes and getting more yards after catch. Josh Allen is throwing longer passes and getting less yards after catch. Yards after catch per completion. Josh Allen's only getting 4.7. Patrick Mahomes, 7. a near first down of yards after catch. And yet also on target percentage, Josh Allen 87.1, Patrick Mahomes 82.8. Josh Allen is throwing more accurate passes further away than Patrick Mahomes. So stop. It's just absurd. Patrick Mahomes is an all-time great. You have to stop pretending that like Josh Allen is coming up short because of Josh Allen. It's nonsense. It's absolute madness. You can keep cooking the books all we want. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. This is a lose-lose game situation for everyone involved because of what Nick is creating right here. The Baltimore Ravens should be a better team. That is why they're favored, even on the road. Baltimore Ravens do have more Pro Bowlers. They did have higher expectations. A lot of people did think that the Buffalo Bills were going to take a step back. That's a real thing. That is what the argument for the MVP. Josh Allen doesn't have Derrick Henry. He doesn't. That's a fact. So more pressure on Lamar or Allen? The answer is blah. That's the answer. Because it's just awful for both these quarterbacks. I actually feel for both these quarterbacks. And it's a lose-lose. Because if Lamar loses, like, he can't get the job done. If Josh Allen loses, he can't get the job done. Like Nick is already trying to create. And if they win, it's congrats, you beat Lamar. Lots of people beat Lamar in the playoffs. Congrats, you beat Josh Allen. Josh Allen can't beat anyone in the playoffs. He can only win wild card rounds. Can they beat Mahomes? No one wins from winning this game. You could only lose. There's nothing to gain from this game. So when you go talk about who pressure from who? Smart people? People who understand? Like I was talking to people in the live chat when I streamed the Minnesota Vikings game and Rams. We were talking about how it's like it's so frustrating for both these quarterbacks that whoever loses this game, people are just going to rip them and be like, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do in this situation? So yeah, more pressure on Lamar or Allen, man. Just like how this game is a toss-up, who's going to win in terms of more pressure, it's a toss-up. Depends on, are you talking about the media? Are you talking about the fan bases? Are you talking about their own fan bases? Like who are we talking about here? On one side, I can make the argument it's Lamar Jackson. On the other side of the argument, I could say, no, it's Josh Allen. I mean, I think more people believe that Lamar Jackson is better than Josh Allen. And that he chokes in the playoffs. That seems to be a legitimate narrative. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that's false. I'm just trying to say what I believe seems to be an incredibly common narrative. Maybe I just listened to too much to Nick Wright. But it does seem like other people kind of echo that. And so I think that if Lamar now loses and comes up short, in one way, I don't even know, because what would be worse for Lamar? To beat Josh Allen and lose to Patrick Mahomes, or just to lose to Josh Allen? I honestly don't know. I really don't. I think both these quarterbacks are special. I think both these quarterbacks are under pressure. I think both these franchises have failed their quarterbacks in different ways at different times in different moments within the playoffs. At the end of the day, I think Lamar Jackson needs it more than Josh Allen, because I think Josh Allen will find his way more easily, mainly because of the perception of who Josh Allen is. But I think both of these quarterbacks, at the end of the day, what's at stake for them is GOAT conversation, GOAT status. If Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl, people will have real conversation. He's a two or three-time MVP, All-Pro, Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP, like, you know, like all this type of stuff. He's better than Patrick Mahomes. You know, going into this next season, they'll be like, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. And that won't be such a controversial statement. The pushback will be like, well, you got to see him do it again, but like they'll be confident about it. And they can't and they can't wipe away any of his successes during the regular season by saying, well, you can't do it in the playoffs, because they'll see him do it in the playoffs. Josh Allen wins, it's going to be like, again, Josh Allen has the highest touchdown interception ratio, highest yards per, you know, total yards per game, all-time leading rusher for quarterbacks, you know, top 3 in passer rating and completion percentage and Super Bowl winner and MVP. Like, it's now he'll be like Josh Allen's best quarterback in the NFL. Like, even Nick even made that argument where he goes, yeah, if Josh Allen wins the MVP and wins the Super Bowl and gets Super Bowl MVP, there is a real argument that people have a real argument to say that he's the best quarterback in the NFL. So that's what's at stake. That's what's at stake. So both these quarterbacks have tremendous amount of pressure, but I look at it as like, if someone loses, which quarterback, if they lose, will have the most significant pushback? And it feels to me that it ultimately would be Lamar. I think Lamar will take the heat more publicly than Josh Allen. And I think because of some of Lamar's failures, and I'm really putting them in specifically in quotes, failures in the playoffs, people will continue to build that James Harden narrative. Josh Allen, even though he hasn't won it as much in the playoffs, I do not believe he has that James Harden narrative. And again, even that James Harden narrative, and I'll end here, because I've said this in multiple videos as well, is nonsense. James Harden is playing with, like, you know, Eric Gordon and Clint Capella going up against the Golden State Warriors. Like, huh? He's supposed to beat Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Kevin Durant with, you know, with Gordon and Clint Capella? Like what do you want him to do? Like, huh? It's nonsense. Oh, he choked, and someone said, oh, he choked against the Celtics when, you know, with the Sixers. The dude hung, I forget how many points it was, like 40, 50, I forget, it was a lot, and hit the game winner. Like, in his 30s, when he's old, without Joel Embiid, with like a 22-year-old Tyrese Maxey. You know, like, I don't know, man. People got weird perceptions about other players. It's just so funny. LeBron James has never won a ring all by himself. Neither has Michael Jordan. Neither has Tom Brady. Neither has Patrick Mahomes. But for the players we like to pretend that they do it all by themselves. And it's never been done. It's never been done. Even as much as I praise Josh Allen and say, Josh Allen, he's doing this all himself. He is. But he can't win a Super Bowl by himself. He's going to need Amari Cooper. He's going to need Cook. He's going to need Shakir. He's going to need that defense. If they end up winning this game, it's going to be because the defense was able to really slow down Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry only had 110 yards, not 190 yards. Someone on defense comes up with a huge, really acrobatic interception on Lamar Jackson. It's not going to just be 100% Josh Allen by himself. Other people will have to step up because we've seen when those other players around him don't step up, he plays awesome and they lose. It's the way it goes. But the perception of Lamar is Lamar hasn't played awesome and they lose. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen versus Baltimore Ravens and Lamar? Who do you think has more pressure, Lamar or Josh Allen? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.